on to part 2 of the how to run your marketing campaigns now, since you've built your awesome campaigns. So I'll be showing you how you can start to run them to start to target your patients. So if you remember from the first video, we ran through a couple of different campaigns that you can run, the query by procedure, the query by appointment, and the simple query. So to even make it a bit more specific, we'll be showing you how to do your 6-month recall, how to run that, since that campaign should already be in your file, how to run the cancellation list, which was the example that I showed in the first video. And then the third one is just running that the all patients list to get that list of patients that have come to the clinic. So all of them that have come through time. So we'll run through the 6-month recall first. And look, this session should only take you about 5 to 10 minutes to go through with me. So if you have any guidance on how to build those campaigns, please look at the first video. Otherwise, you can also check out some of our guides as well using the help button to find out some of those guides on how to build a template, how to build your campaigns and how to run them as well. So you'll be able to see all of that information there. But let's go ahead and jump into any of the campaigns that we've got. So you can see I have my 6-monthly checkup in one in there. I've got my all patients one, and I also have my cancellation list already built. So as an example, you've got your 6-monthly checkup and clean. So we'll click on that campaign there. And what we're going to do is we're going to click on new run here. Okay, so just always make sure that interval is at 6 months, especially for your 6-month checkup, because we do not want to bring anybody in sooner than that 6-month interval. So now we go to new run. And then what you'll see is there's a campaign date and a campaign period. So the campaign date is just today. So if you ever want to have like a marker on when you want to run these campaigns or something like that, then that's fine. But it's just a date for you to kind of keep track of. Now the campaign period is the most important part here, especially if we're using the interval section, because what's going to happen is we're going to either do this campaign at the beginning of the month or at the end of the month, especially for 6-month recalls. For the other types of campaigns that we're running, it doesn't matter, right? That period really doesn't matter as much, especially with the intervals too. The only thing is for recall, we need to be very specific about the intervals as well as the periods that we're choosing. So that's why if you choose the beginning of the month or at the end of the month, you'll have these two options. So one is when you click on the period, you'll see that there's a whole bunch of different dates and all that kind of stuff, or custom ranges that you can target. But typically for this one, we only do, a month's worth of recalls every month. Yeah. So as an example, if I am at the end of the month, I will choose this month. If I am at the first of the month, I will choose last month, because everybody that came in 6 months ago prior to that date should be ready to come in now. So as an example, if I just choose last month, and I'll just say I'm a little bit late at the moment, but we're choosing everybody that 6 months prior to this period here. So you can see that we're targeting October. So what's 6 months prior to October? We can click on next here. May or may not have some. Oh, I do have some people, so that's good. So what you should be able to see is the last treated date should be in April. So that's 6 months prior, right? So if that's right, then we can keep moving ahead. We can see, all right, we've got some patients in here. And then all we need to do is we hit create batch. It'll take you to your history screen where you'll be able to see a long list of different campaigns that you've run in the past. And obviously your campaign date is the latest one should be at the very top. So you can just click on that campaign date, and then it'll take you to this screen. So basically all we're doing on here is that you got your batch in here. You might have multiple pages. So if you've got multiple pages worth of patients, you can easily click on the drop down menu here to toggle between the different views. So as an example, you can see 10 patients at a time, 25, 50, 100. Yeah, so you can do it in batches of max of 100 right now. So if you have anything higher than that, we do recommend that you do it in terms of batches. So as an example, you do 100 on one day, then you do another 100 the other day, or you can do 50, 50, up to you. Whatever is going to make sense for your practice. Because the last thing you want to do is send out all these recalls and people are trying to ring in and book in at the same time. If you can stagger it out, I think it'll be a much better time for your front desk team. But obviously everybody has their own way of doing it. So as an example, if I've got all these 4 patients in here that are ready to come in for their checkup, skill and clean, I can select all of them like that. And then it will select all the patients in here. Now, because of the way that I set up the campaign before, we obviously excluded people if they've already have a checkup, skill and clean already booked in. So these are the patients who are in the system that came in 6 months ago, 6 or 7 months ago, and are due for their checkup, skill and clean, but did not book an appointment. So how do you check all that kind of stuff? So on this screen here, you obviously can see the patient's name, if there's an age, what sort of health fund they're with, which location they went to, which provider they saw. And then obviously the key points are, their treated dates as well as their recall dates. Um, and then basically all we're going to do in here is, you see there's a little like letter thing here that just shows you patients' email addresses, or the number over here will be a mobile phone number, and they've also got a home phone number. And then if this little calendar on here is pretty important, especially if you're not excluding appointments, because it's going to show you their next appointment. So as an example in here, if I go to Courtney here, all right, I can also have a look at, all right, I can see their details. I can see all their appointments they've had, any appointments that are coming up in the future, any appointments that they've attended, as well as any of the ones that they've FTA'd for. I guess the most important one here is just really if they've got any future appointments coming up. Okay. And then once we've set this all up and we're happy to go ahead with all of this, and we selected all the patients that we want to send it to, we'll go over to the three dots in here, and then we will send them an email or send SMS. Okay. So what does this activate follow-up and stop follow-up mean? So when we activate the follow-up, I'll just show this here and I confirm. You'll see that it's slowly changed. And then basically what happens is, as you activate the follow-up, it's just letting people know that somebody else is working on this. So you can see here, somebody is I've put my name down here to say that I started the follow-up. So it's up to you. If you don't want to use it, you don't have to. The main real thing that you really want to get through is you want to send the email or send an SMS out. Okay, so you can only send one at a time at the moment. So as an example, if I select all the patients I want to send it to, I select all, I go to the three dots, I send an email or an SMS. So I'll choose the one that I want. And obviously this is the template that I've got in the system. So obviously you want to customize all of this, you want to change it to what you need to. And obviously it'll also obviously keep any of those patients out who don't have an email or don't have a mobile phone to recall. So that's fine. Okay, and otherwise you just hit send now, and that'll be sent out to all those patients that are on that list. And what does that look like when I hit send now? Just wait for it to go through. You'll see the status change because currently it's overdue because they're meant to be due for it. You'll see when it's been sent. I believe you'll also be able to see if they clicked or viewed on it, especially with our email system. We can keep track of when they've clicked on it and seen the actual email. And if they've booked, it'll just show up as booked on there. Okay. Then that's when you can see that we've only got emails for 2 patients on here. So the rest of them, we select those 2 patients again, and then we can send out the SMS as well. So up to you guys on how you want to do this. You can send that email first and then send out the SMS later on, or you can just send it out to everybody on the same go. So we just select everybody, hit send an SMS, and then if you've got your template down right, yeah, we'll just send it out to these people and hit send, and it will look exactly the same as what we did for the email. Cool, cool. So you've pretty much have done your first recall. Um, I'll take you through some of the other examples as well, just while we're here. So if I go back to my marketing campaigns, I've got my cancellation list in here. And just to show you the difference, because basically because of the interval, we'll just go new run, same thing. We choose a period that we want to target. So the only difference is that we don't have to look at 6 months prior or anything like that. So this campaign period is really whatever you want to target. So if you want to target everybody that come in this year that has cancelled their appointment, you just choose this year or this financial year, whichever one you want to target, or even can even do custom range, and we can say, all right, for the last 2 years, if they haven't booked in an appointment already, and we can capture those people. But as an example, I might just choose this year, and I'll go next. And you can see in here, I've got 28 patients who have canceled their appointments. So in here, I'll just do the same thing. I'll create the batch. I'll go back into my campaign here. And then these are all my patients. So the cool thing is, like how I mentioned before, is if I click on any of these appointments here, do you see that the calendar date on here is not colored in? So that means they do not have another appointment booked in already. So if they don't have another appointment booked in already and they've canceled, then it's probably safe to say that they either went to another clinic or something like that, or we just need to somehow bring them back. So as an example in here, This is where you can create some really cool campaigns or templates that you want, SMS templates and all that kind of stuff to try to bring these people back. So obviously that's probably down to your own marketing style and personality there. But when we send it all out, we do the same thing. We highlight all the clients or the patients that we want to send them out to. We can change the view to obviously incorporate all of the all of the patients in there. And then when I go to the three dots, I just do the same thing. I hit send SMS or send email, whichever one you want to choose. And then that will be sent out to all those patients there. Okay. Now the final one is the running the campaign for your whole patient base. So I've got my third final campaign in here to run for today, and that's the all patients one here. So this one, you don't really need to set up anything at all. So we'll just go to new run, and then we'll choose a campaign period. And then this period even doesn't matter as well at all anyway. So even if you choose today, it's not going to just show you the patients who came in today. It'll still show you everybody. Even if you showed like, this year or do a custom range, it really doesn't matter. So if I just choose today, sorry, I'll just not choose today. I'll choose this week as an example. Go next. You can see I've got 398 recipients here. Okay, so regardless of whether or not they came or whatever it is, as long as that patient is in the system, we'll be able to pull them out from here. So we just do the same thing. We create the batch, and then we'll go into that date. And then all you need to do is, especially if you're trying to work with a marketing company like SmileRide or any of the other ones like MediBoost, and you need to bring out a whole patient base, you can just go into here, hit download, and then you'll get an Excel sheet of all these patients. You can open it up. I'll just wait for that to load. And then basically all you're going to do is you're just going to hand this Excel sheet to your marketing company or whoever it is, and then they can start to upload that list for you. Let's try to bring it up here. Go. And that's all your patients and all their details. Okay, so you'll be able to see mobile numbers, home phone numbers, all that kind of stuff on there already for you. Okay, so there's a lot of information in there, but that's how you would pull up that list for your patients. That pretty much wraps it up, guys. If you need any help with running your campaigns, please feel free to get in touch with our support team. Otherwise, you can also log a ticket or get in touch with your customer success manager or your sales rep, and we'll be more than happy to help you guys out. But I hope that was informative for you guys. If there's any other suggestions or anything that you'd like us to work on in terms of guides, please let us know, and we'll get that ready for you. But thank you so much for your time. Take care.